Making a mistake. Now we're live. We're live on Facebook. Okay.
Just leave it hard. So.
I'm like, with all the hearts. Okay. Showing the love. That's you. Okay. That's all right. That's all right.
Show ourselves some love. For love month.
For the love month.
Yes.
Okay. So I keep wanting to look over there too. Yeah, look right there. I gotta remember. I gotta remember.
Happy Tuesday, fam.
Happy Tuesday.
We hope
take charge.
You all
take charge negotiations. Okay.
Yes.
I like that
Welcome
name.
to our live.
Yeah.
Great evening.
What's up, G-Mom?
Hey, G-Mom.
Great evening. Thank you for joining us. Whether you're joining us live or you're catching the replay, we appreciate you.
Happy Tuesday.
Mm-hmm.
Hope you all had a better than ever weekend and hope your week is going great.
Yeah, we've been having some cold weather in our area, in Florida. So.
Well, Florida, cold weather.
Yeah,
it's been chilly. It has been chilly, but other places I know it's like snowing. Okay.
Yeah, so it's cold weather all over. I see.
Yeah.
Okay. Intro us in. Let's just jump in here.
So we are the Strategy Geeks. I am Kim the Geek, and this is
Cleet the Geek.
And we are the Strategy Geeks. Like I said, we are a basically a marketing agency where we do we focus on web design, graphic design, logo design, social media management, brand messaging, brand consultation. All in that area we cover. And
we've been at it for what, 5 years now?
Yes.
5 years. And we love to serve the communities, our target audience.
Yes.
We've been doing that for quite some time now. We love it. This is what we call to do. So
yes, and we are so excited to have you all here because like I say, every week you all could be anywhere.
Except last week.
Except last week.
We had a training. We had a little training. We
did. But yeah, like I usually say on our weeks, you could have been anywhere tonight, but you chose to be here with us tonight on our live. So we thank you.
Yes.
Do us a favor and go ahead and like the slide and share it to at least 3 of your friends and followers that you all have on your social media platforms on Facebook and Instagram. Please like and share. We appreciate that so much. And just to, like Cleet mentioned, we are the Strategy Geeks. So you can find us. Our website is thestrategygeeks.com. We're on Facebook and Instagram as The Strategy Geeks. And also we are now on YouTube. So if you have missed any of our lives, you want to, replay any of our lives that we had over the past year and a half, you can catch our lives on YouTube as well.
Almost 40 shows.
Yes, 40 shows on YouTube.
Been at it for a little bit.
The Strategy Geeks. So thank you all so much for being here tonight. And tonight we're chilling.
Hey, we chilling. We're like, and the reason we put that topic, we just we couldn't land on one thing to talk about. This week, at least, every week we're like, oh yeah, this came up. We definitely want to talk about that. This week we had a couple of things and we didn't want to make it like 7 points or all the things. So we figured we'd jump on here. Obviously we don't want to call it a Q&A because we didn't really advertise it as that. But if you throughout this time, if you have any questions, we'll literally stop and jump into those questions because we really don't have a major focus. Other than, just the common stuff we all deal with as entrepreneurs,
right.
we're all being impacted by the pandemic, right? And we're looking to grow our business in this season, while we're at home more or while we're socially distanced from each other. So, there's a lot of new things for people, right? People who haven't been running their business online, who had this amazing idea to start a business and a thing that you're passionate about, and now you finally say, you know what, I got the time now, I'm ready to do it, but I don't know how to do this and that. So we figured we'd just kind of talk about some of the basic stuff and answer any questions that you all might have. I'll leave it there.
No, I think pretty much mentioned it, like Cleet said, like he said, we titled this live this week, Chillin with the Strategy Geeks, because like he said, we're like, okay, what can we talk about this week? And we really were like, because
I don't know, man.
I didn't have, and initially it was leaning more so we weren't going to have a live this week, but we're all about remaining consistent, whatever that is. We're going to show up regardless. So that's why we're here.
Yeah, and that's a good place to start. I think for your business, especially for social media, the struggle is always being consistent with your content.
Struggle is real.
Yes. And that's where we're in a process, where we're revamping some of our content. So for any of you who who have followed us over the last year or so, we had a consistency to our content, and we kind of slowed down with that at the beginning of the year.
A little pause right now.
Because we're revamping, and we're really trying to get, make sure we make sure the content is relevant, and we make sure that we can be consistent with it, right? So even making this decision today to do this live is continuing with that decision to be consistent, right? So that's one of the main things with social media, that if you don't take anything away from any wisdom that we may drop, is fighting to be consistent, right? And that's going to start from first being organized, right? So it starts by thinking of your content ahead of time. I think all of us find ourselves not posting because you're trying to think of what to post in the moment of that desire to post. And a lot of times you may overthink it, or you may think about all of the work you're going to try to put into posting something and you don't do it. So the only way to kind of defeat that self-defeating thought, right, is to kind of prepare for it, right? So you're like, okay, so let me start thinking about what I want to post next week, a week ahead of time, right? And then you kind of create yourself a little schedule, and then you just execute it. From that point, it's executing. So for us, we know every Tuesday we need to come here and
show up.
And show up, right? Show up and give some knowledge, right?
Right.
Give and knowledge is not that we're the experts of the world, but we're experts in the area. We've been doing it for years. We know the ins and outs of the branding industry and marketing, digital marketing, graphic design, web design. We know the do's and the don'ts, right? So, we can't assume that everyone has been through the journey that we've been through. So, one way to give back to our community, one way to continue to grow our business is to provide information about what we know and hopefully help someone else who is just starting out or who is transitioning to another business, another career, another company, right?
Right.
There's so many things we find ourselves transitioning in. So I'm saying I like to say, content, being consistent with content is important, whether it's, if you're a blogger, whether it's just content about your family and, how you're doing during the pandemic, or when we were traveling, the places, the destinations you were going, right? So a lot of times people assume that, okay, because I'm not a blogger, I don't need to have consistent content.
Right.
So this is a good topic. A lot of times when we work with clients, they found themselves saying, I don't need a blog because I'm not a blogger, right? And the blogger, all they're doing is creating content. I was about to say flyers. I was about to use an acronym, but I went back to the actual word. But let me go with that acronym. It's like what a blogger is literally doing. It's like they're posting flyers all over the virtual city, right? That we call the internet. And they're like, okay, here, I know about this, or I've been to this place, or I have an idea about this, or I have 5 steps about that. And what happens is as people walk around that virtual city, the internet, they come across that content. They're like, oh man, this person is the expert, or this person has that experience that I want for this particular topic. Right. So now I know I've seen their flyer. I'm going to go back to their place of business, quote unquote, their website, and I'm going to go and get more information about the thing they're talking about. Uncle Kevin, what's up?
Hey, Uncle Kev.
Uncle Kevin, the bill.
Love you too.
So just going with that analogy, they're posting flyers about things that they're an expert about, or things that they've experienced. They're posting out around the digital world that we call the internet. And as we all, as users, as we
take your time.
As we, the users, as we walk around the digital world, right, the internet, or we search, we come across their flyers, quote unquote, their blog posts, their content posts, and they're like, oh, you're the expert in this, or you've experienced this, you've done this, you've done that, right? So that same concept of providing content so that people can now see that you're an expert in an area and then come back to your place of business, quote unquote, your website or your social media page, then that process is not only for bloggers, right? Because bloggers, they do it and, they get a lot of followers and they're able to advertise other people's products and services or whatever have you. The same we all have to do for our individual businesses and brands that we're building. If you're an author, if you're an artist, a musical artist, if you're a business owner, right? If you're a trainer, a coach, whatever the case is, you have to find some type of way to drive traffic to your online business, to your online website. Your website is your online business. It's not just like we call it when we talk to our clients, it's not a glorified business card. You know, it's not meant to just be, think about it. If anyone created a store, but never put that store, they created a brick and mortar store, but you never put it up on Google Maps so it can be found. You never have any advertisement on what's in the store or where the store could be found. How would you expect to sell anything? Right. You wouldn't sell anything in that store because no one knows that the store exists. So this is the same understanding that we have to have about our website and about our content, or let me not say our content, but about our place on the web. So whether you have a website, whether you have a Facebook page, Instagram, it don't matter the platform, YouTube, you need something that's going to draw people there. Now on YouTube, there's videos, right? So if you want someone to come to YouTube page, you got to be producing videos,
right?
Some kind of how-to video, some kind of funny video, whatever the content is. It's content that makes sense to the people you want to attract. Facebook is the same thing. It's going to be videos. It's going to be posts, right? So you might be a writer. You might I always joke with Kim. Kim has a skill set of finding information, right? She's a detective. Okay. She's a detective.
Like Liam Neeson said, I have a special set of skills.
Yeah, right. So if you're that type where you like to find information, maybe on your social media platform, Facebook, Instagram, maybe you're reporting information. It could be in a particular topic, like I report on Black Lives Matter, or I report on e-news stuff. I don't know, but there is a consistency that you have to establish with your content, so that people can, what we call it, build, so that you build authority in that particular area, so that people know, okay, I go to you for that product or service. You're the person that has that solution for me. So, I kind of went in on that part, but the point, the overall, the overall thing that I'm saying is, content has to be consistent and it has to be relevant to who you want to affect. You can't be trying to draw people who aren't buying your products or services, right? You have to make it to the people who are naturally coming to you. Look at, and if you're questioning, okay, well, what kind of stuff are they looking for? Well, follow a few people that you would say is your ideal client, right? Start to see where they're hanging out, what kind of Facebook groups they're in. Look at, the type of videos they're watching, right? Look at the people they're following, right? Look at the people they're following, the content they're watching, so you can see, okay, what's drawing them there, and then start to craft and create content that's similar, so that they'll come and they'll make you an authority in their life. So, yeah,
all that.
I mean, you vibe with me? What you think?
I'm vibing with you. I was gonna say, hop in there.
Jump in there. I ain't trying to just
jump in a little fire. I was just gonna speak a little bit about consistency. Like Clete mentioned, consistency is important. Like, consistency is not necessarily like it's not like automatic. Like, you have to like build that muscle of consistency. It's not just gonna happen. Like, things just don't happen.
It's weekly, daily, however consistent you try to be.
Just like if you have, you are trying to eat healthy, right? You got to be consistent with getting the right foods in your body, right? If you're trying to be a certain tone with your body and be in shape, you got to be consistent with that. If you are trying to be consistent in I don't know, what is it? If you want to.
So you done talk. So you've spoken about working out, weight.
Yeah, I'm just like in all areas. So like in business, right?
Family.
In family, you want to be consistent, shower upper.
A shower upper.
In family, you gotta be
a shower upper.
A shower upper.
Yeah, I like that.
You
You
know?
can make it sure. A shower upper.
You gotta show up and be consistent, be present with your family. Same thing, same principle is in business. You got to show up. Like Cleet mentioned, just because you're not a quote unquote blogger doesn't mean like you
don't have to create content.
Yeah, you could be ghost and not be on the interwebs, right? No, your target audience needs to see you, especially in this day and age of technology. You need to show up and be present online. Whatever the social media platforms are right for your business, where your target audience is hanging out with, you need to show up and be consistent. Like I said, consistency is not an automatic thing. It's a muscle that you got to build, and it's a daily fight. Like on my personal page that I have, I'm currently like in a consistency challenge right now for the month of February. And it is, like Lisa, it's a daily fight, because it causes you to like be prepared, like have a plan, be organized, and have it together. But in the end, it makes it all
worth it.
Because,
you find yourself down the road, you've grown the following. You got people who are starting to message you, hey, I haven't seen you.
Yeah.
Or, you get these questions as you provide those products or services, or as you write that content, right? Because like I said, your thing may be a writer. So you may not be producing products or services yet. You might just be writing good content that people like. I think there's something else you said that was really pivotal, challenges, right? So a lot of times we try to find motivation within ourselves to do things, and that's the right place to start. And sometimes you can make your life a little easier by the people you follow or the environment, right? So a lot of times, a lot of these influencers, they have all these cool challenges going on. So make it fun while you're doing it, right? A lot of times, our business coach, Ronnie Brown, a lot of times she challenges us through form of challenges, right? So she's like, I'm going to challenge you this week to post 6 times, I'm going to challenge you this week to talk to this many clients. I'm going to challenge you this week.
Live.
Right. So a lot of times being connected in communities like that, it just makes it a little easier for you, because now you don't have to think of content. You got a challenge you're doing, right? Some of those challenges are 29-day challenges, 15-day challenges. So now there you go. You got 15 days. You don't have to think about what to create, and then you find something. You just go from one challenge to another. You look back after a year, you're like, wait, I've created all this cool stuff, know, and now I have stuff to reference, because that's the other part. Like you mentioned when in our intro, Kim mentioned, go to YouTube. You can subscribe there and see all of our previous shows. So as we have conversations with people, especially our clients, we find ourselves saying, oh, yeah, we talked about that in one of our lives. Actually, instead of us trying to regurgitate whatever we said, we probably, having those profound moments, you just, spitting poetically, about a topic. It's recorded, and now it can be referred to.
Right.
That can be done in the form of a blog, it can be done in the form of a podcast. In our case, it's done in the form of a live. So I can say, hey, yeah, there's a video I talked about branding 101. Check that out. It's on my YouTube channel. Here's the link. You can check that out. It's going to give you all the details now. After they've listened to it, you can now talk about the things you talked about. You don't have to try to think of it from scratch. So it's like I said, content is. It looks like this episode is being about content. You heard consistency. And you heard the term "content is king." I think
content is king.
Is so vital.
Consistency is key.
Okay, another one. Nuggets. But I mean, I think in this day and age, because there's so much information coming at us, right, on all of the platforms, it's your duty to stand out of the crowd by making sure you're contributing to that content. You can't let someone else's content try to drive them to your website.
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying? You can't expect, because what they're doing, they're creating that content to drive people to their website and their pages and their ecosystem, as we call it. So it's your journey. It's your job to invite your clients on a journey that you create. Right. You craft the journey that you want them to go down through your content. We call that the value ladder. And that journey, and like we're talking about planning. So this all is planned, right? All of this stuff is planned. You can say, okay, here's how I want them to initially interact with my brand. I want them to read my blogs. I want them to take this quiz. I want them to take this questionnaire, whatever have you. Then when they take that, I'm going to send them an email of a lead magnet, as we call it, or it's a PDF, giving them more value, right? After they consume that value, then you're like, okay, I want to send them an email, inviting them to this webinar or to this podcast or to this clubhouse, right? That's something that's popular now, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, but that's a journey that you can literally take your clients on through content. And now what you're doing is you're inviting them on a journey that you crafted for them, that they feel like they are a part of the solution that you have for them. So ultimately, your solution could be building them a website, but you understand that, okay, before they know that they need a website, I need to let them know that you have to have. So you kind of see what we're doing, right? We're kind of inviting you guys on a journey, right? Before you realize you need a website, you might realize, wait, I need to stay consistent with my clients. Like I need to let my clients know that I'm here, right? They need to know that I can solve their problem.
That I exist.
Right? So now you start on that journey. Like, okay, so all right, so where am I going to post this content? Well, okay, I have my social media pages. Great. So now you start working on that. You post new stuff on your platform, Facebook, on Instagram, all that stuff. But then you start to realize, wait, if I want to give them something to download, if I want to, get them to fill out a form, if I want them to do certain things, I can't do all of that on social media. I need a place like a business online, like a brick and mortar type place online, so that I can have that control. Oh, I need a website. Ding, ding, ding. You see? So now the value ladder, we've taken you down. We didn't start with saying, hey, you need a website, because you're going to say, I don't need a website. I got social media. I'm good. But then, you realize that once you get into social media and you start to, create your content and do all these things, you get back to the same place where we knew you were going to be, where you're like, man, I'm limited over here. I need this.
Exactly.
So that's kind of, the important things you need to do. You need to focus on consistency of your content, because when you do that, that's going to create a value ladder eventually that you can roll out for your clients. That's going to get them to what you really want them to do. Okay. So whether you're a writer, whether you have that t-shirt business I always mention, you know what I mean? Whether you have, whether you're an artist, right? Whatever you're a serial entrepreneur, whatever the case is, you have to create content that's going to take people down a pathway to get them to the product or the service you want them to purchase. A lot of times we just, think about dating. It's like you start a date, and at the beginning of the date, you start off like, hey, can I get a kiss? Like, fellas, we know that's not going to work. You can't start off the date asking for a kiss.
Gone.
Right.
Still say that?
No.
Poof, be gone. Y'all remember that?
Yeah, I don't think so.
Whatever.
But you don't start the date. You pick, fellas, if you go, you pick up the girl, you go, your chivalry's still alive, right? You go and open her door, and then you just go for the kiss right there at the beginning of the date. The Jamie Foxx, remember that? Yeah. So come on, right? That doesn't make sense. It's logically doesn't make sense. It's the same thing happens with when you're looking to get a client, right? On that date, what you're going to do, you're going to pick them up, you're going to take them out to eat, you may watch a movie, you're going to probably take a walk. There's the value ladder, right? There's things that you're doing to build that value so that the young lady's like, hey, yeah, okay, I think if he move in for the kiss, because of the way that this night has went, I'm willing to give him a kiss, because just, he's done his part. He's chivalrous. He took care of the bill. The meal was great. The movie, a great choice of movie. He decided, whoever, nice walk, nice talk. Everything was great. Okay, if he moves in for the kiss, I'm going to give him a kiss, right? So that's the value ladder in a relationship. The same thing we have to do with our clients. We don't just go and like, hey, buy my product, buy my service because you need it. You're feeling out here.
You haven't given him any valuable
You have to give them
information.
value. Yeah, take them. You gotta court your clients. You know, you have to
Build
start
trust.
off. Yeah, build trust. You gotta start off with content, and
Mhm.
then you start to answer questions. And this is the free part. This is the stuff you give away. This is what we're doing here. You know, you provide the free content because you're creating that trust. You're creating that.
Right.
You're building that authority that, hey, I have answers to these questions that you have. Now, when you're willing to sit down with me and go over how I can answer those for you, then you can do that. But I'm not going to shove that in your face, right?
Right.
You know, and then, you know, after you provide the free content, then you give them something like, hey, you know, here's a PDF. This is going to change your life. You know, this is going to give you 5 steps to do this, or it's 7 steps to do that, right? Give them that. And then from there, you know, it might be ready to say, hey, let's jump on a call and do a consultation.
Mhm.
Because, you know, you've stuck around for 2 lives, or you've watched a YouTube video, or you've downloaded a PDF. You're more willing to say, hey, I'll sit down with you for 30 minutes and let you talk to me about your business, or I can pick your brain. You know, you may want to pick their brain for 30 minutes. After that, you find out if it's worth moving forward with. And now that transaction of, you know, them buying a product or service is more realistic. But that's the value that a client has to go down. And it all starts with content and being consistent with it. So that looks like that ended up being our whole thingy.
Content and consistency.
You know, and we knew this would happen. Like, we figured we just jump on here and start
That's
talking.
why I told myself, we just gonna chill with the people tonight. We just gonna still do our part and show up because we want to be consistent, remain consistent. So it all worked out.
It did. So I don't
have anything else. You kind of wrapped it up there. So if you all have any questions that might come up, feel free to hit us up. You could DM us, or you can reach out to us. Our email is contact us at thestrategygeeks.com.
Yeah, especially if you're catching this replay, definitely feel free to email us or hit us up on social. And
like I said, you can follow us. Our website is thestrategygeeks.com. Facebook, Instagram, YouTube as The Strategy Geeks. We're so excited. We thank you all for joining us tonight.
Yes.
We hope you all have a better than ever day, or it's nighttime now, depending on where you are. Have a better than ever week. Have a better than ever week. Hope you all enjoy your weekend. Like what we say every week, stay safe, stay healthy, and stay connected.
All right.
Till next week.
Till next week.
Bye.